Hello, and welcome to Ask Dr. Love podcast. I'm Dr. George Xavier Love for Prince of Peace Health Ministries and the Blue Dragon Qigong Academy. Today's topic is chanting, toning, and mantras. If love is the answer, what is your question? The podcast, Ask Dr. Love, is here to answer your questions about acupuncture, shamanism, breathing, meditation, internal exercise, spiritual healing, and your health. You cannot separate spirit from physical health, because spirit and physical are one. When you take the spirit out of the body dies. When you take the spirit out of the body dies. So you cannot separate physical health from spiritual health. They are one and the same. And unfortunately, our medical system has tried to do that. So I'm here to offer you a look at the true nature of reality. So what is chanting, toning, and what are mantras? Well, for the people who were born after 1980, you know what color television looks like as a child. You know what cell phones look like as a child. You know what electronic toys and tablets and gadgets, you know what all that stuff is as a child. The rest of us had to discover that as young adults or full adults. I was told the spiritual life begins at 50 because most people have to earn a living and they have to go to work, and then they get married and have kids and they become householders. So they don't learn about spiritual health or spiritual living, or spiritual lifestyle until after the age of 50, when their kids are grown and out of the house, and then they can actually start working on themselves. Most of you already know what the chakras are, the 7 chakras. And most of you have heard Om, Om, but you don't really know what it means, or you don't really know how to use it. So I'm going to break all that down for you today in today's episode of Ask Dr. Love. So the Om, the OM, is the universal vibration. Sort of like a stone or a pebble dropped into a pool of water, and you see the ever-expanding ripples. That is what the Om represents. It's the connection between the physical and the spiritual. However, we say it improperly. We concentrate on the O and not on the M. So I'm going to break this down for you. The Ah sound connects the heart. The O sound connects the diaphragm. The M sound connects to the pineal. The N sound connects to the pituitary. So, ah. N, the fourth chakra, the fifth chakra, and the sixth chakra. N. Now, when we go Om, it's U, A-U-M. So the is the fourth chakra, or the heart. The U is the third chakra. And then the M is the fifth chakra. Aum, Aum, Aum. 4, 3, 5. Aum. So that M sound, when you put your lips together, the M sound vibrates your teeth, the upper jaw, which connects to the back, which is the blood vessel and the nerve ending that connects to the pineal gland. So the throat chakra is the M sound. M. Aum. So 80% of the vibration is the M sound. And unfortunately, we concentrate on the O sound. O, instead of Aum, Aum, Aum. Now, that is important because if there's anything disturbing your peace, anything disturbing your heart, anything that gets you out of balance, if your heart is heavy and you're not at peace, then you have a tendency to compress your chest. And that looks like depression. And when you go Aum, you literally open up and you create a positive vibration that chases away all the negative energy. And what is the negative energy that you carry? Is it fear? Is it worry? Is it sadness? Is it grief? Is it loneliness? What is going on in your world that you brought in, that you allowed to come in and to disturb your peace? What are you doing to bring peace in? And this is why we chant. And this is why we create tones. And this is why we create mantras. So, our chanting, Amun-Ra Sutanedra Atin-Re Nebenank, Amun-Ra Sutanedra Atin-Re Nebenank. That is an ancient Egyptian chant that says, I identify with the hidden God, but it is through the revealed God that I come into being. So, Amen, Amun, the hidden God, Atun, the revealed God. Man is God asleep. God is man awake. This is a question that spiritual people, spiritual seekers have been wrestling with for millennia. And the answers are there. But sometimes people cannot see. Sometimes people cannot hear. But when you chant the mantra, it awakens within you an innate intelligence that allows you to discover the true nature of reality. And so, any questions that you have, please ask them now. Write in the comments below. Now, my favorite chant, my favorite mantra is the Medicine Buddha mantra. I learned it in Sanskrit, but then I had a Tibetan teacher. Actually, he was from Nepal, but he taught me Tibetan Buddhist psychiatry at the Nyingma Institute, Mr. Sonam Kazi. And he made me promise to always chant the Medicine Buddha chant in Tibetan rather than Sanskrit. So, Tayata Om, Bakansa Bakansa, Maha Bakansa Bakansa, Radza Samudgate Soha. Tayata Om, Bazaja Bazaja, Maha Bakansa Bakansa, Maha Bakansa Bakansa, Radza Samudgate Soha. Tayata Om, Bakansa Bakansa, Maha Bakansa Bakansa, Radza Samudgate Soha. Tayata Om, Bakansa Bakansa, Maha Bakansa Bakansa, Radha Samogati Soha. Tayata Om, Bakansa Bakansa, Maha Bakansa Bakansa, Radha Samogati Soha. Tayata Om, Bakansa Bakansa, Maha Bakansa Bakansa, Radha Samogati Soha. Tayata Om, Bakansa Bakansa, Maha Bakansa Bakansa, Radha Samogati Soha. So I do that 108 times every day before I do any healing work. So the Medicine Buddha, I have one in the room. I have a Medicine Buddha somewhere. I have the Medicine Buddha. This is the Medicine Buddha. He is painted blue. Blue is the color of peacefulness. The Medicine Buddha came from Afghanistan. And he is holding in his hand the Myrabalam fruit, which we now know as Indian gooseberry, and it's a mild laxative. So when you are spiritually constipated, then you are also physically constipated. So the Medicine Buddha's offering to you was the Indian gooseberry fruit, which you can actually purchase in a health food store. It's called Triphala. Triphala, Triphala. And he's also holding a begging bowl. A begging bowl receives offering. So he's offering you something to deal with your spiritual constipation. But then he's also receiving your generosity, your energetic offering, which could be money, jewels, what have you, whatever you want to offer as an energetic exchange for his spiritual discourse, for his pearls of wisdom. So the Medicine Buddha is seated on a 1,000-petaled lotus up in the sky. Now a lotus is about 14, 16, 18 inches in diameter, 14 to 16 inches in diameter. But the Medicine Buddha is seated on a 1,000-petaled lotus. That means 4 feet wide. And he's up in the sky. And as you chant the name of the Medicine Buddha, Tadyatha, I am that I am, Tadyatha, to the healing, to the healing, to the highest healing, may I resolve spiritual illness quickly and swiftly. So be it. That is the meaning of the mantra. And as you chant, Tayata Om Bakansa Bakansa Maha Bakansa Bakansa Radha Samogati Soha. Tayata Om Bakansa Bakansa Maha Bakansa Bakansa Radha Samogati Soha. Tayata Om Bakansa Bakansa Maha Bakansa Bakansa Radha Samogati Soha. As you chant that and you visualize the Medicine Buddha up in the sky, at some point, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you trade places with the Medicine Buddha and you become the Medicine Buddha, smiling down at yourself, offering all the rays of light and energy and health and wisdom. And you become the Medicine Buddha. you become the healer. So Shakyamuni, who's considered the original Buddha, taught the practice of medicine Buddha because he couldn't get enough followers to follow him into the forest, to divorce their families, sell all their possessions, and to live in isolation for 5 years, and then go and teach what they've learned in the cities, in the slums, with the low caste people, to elevate them, to bring them up. Because the powers that be, even in ancient times, wanted to exploit their own citizens. The powers that be, even in ancient times, would use their soldiers to brutalize the everyday people and unfairly tax them. So, the medicine Buddha practice, which I've been empowered to teach to all of my patients in 3 different Tibetan traditions, I'm empowered to teach you this practice of the medicine Buddha mantra. Now, when the medicine Buddha moved into China, the women felt that all of the spiritual teachers were men, and they wanted to have a female represent the Lord of Compassion, the Buddha of compassion and understanding. So that's when the practice of Kuan Yin started in China. But you will see in the headdress of Kuan Yin the representation of the medicine Buddha. So in China, Kuan Yin is the medicine Buddha. So mantra, and there's many mantras. I have a list of my favorite mantras. And if you're a member of the Blue Dragon tribe, or you're already subscribed to the online Qigong class, Boost Your Immune System, you can request a download of my favorite mantras with the link to YouTube where you can actually hear them. So even though I've got 8 of my favorite mantras, I don't suggest you try to learn all 8. Just start with 1. And I'm going to suggest the medicine Buddha. But there's also Blue Tara and Green Tara, who are both females who practice compassion. Blue Tara for all sentient beings, and Green Tara particularly for women who are going through emotional stress and possible abuse by men. So there's many, many mantras, and I could spend all day just talking about mantras, but I'd rather talk about the benefits of the mantra, the energetic vibration that comes from the sound of your diaphragm pushing air past the vocal cords, which is the 5th chakra. And as you make that sound, and there's that internal vibration, it pushes away all of the negative thought frames. It pushes away the self-destructive behaviors. It pushes away the self-limiting beliefs. All this comes from the internal vibration that you make from toning and chanting and mantras. Now, you've heard me talk about the 3 treasures. The 3 treasures also have 3 sounds. Om, Ah, Hum. So So the hong, hong, hong opens up 5, 6, and 7. The ah opens up 4 and 5. And the om opens up 3, 4, and 5. So om ah hong ha ho hree. 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 So as we chant or tone Om Ah Hong Ha Ho Hree, we set up an internal vibration that regulates the reproductive system and the digestive system, the circulatory and the respiratory system, and the neuroendocrine and the musculoskeletal system. We regulate, we self-regulate with tonopuncture. So this is actually using your own tones to heal yourself. This is another method of self-healing. And as a spiritual teacher, I'm pleased to bring this to your awareness. So we do a whole weekend of chanting and toning, and you get the explanations of all the chants. We also go into visualizations. We also go into color visualizations and symbolic visualizations of rivers and streams and waterfalls and light and flowering plants. So there's a lot to the weekend where we teach all this. And all of my students have already been through this workshop. Right, Deja? Right. So now's the time to ask questions and put your comments below. Put your questions in the comments. Okay? So I hope that I have opened your mind to another way of healing. So we have a question.
Yes. Yolanda says, so chanting has nothing to do with religion?
Chanting has nothing to do with religion. Jesus, Mary, Joseph. Jesus, Mary, Joseph. Jesus, Mary, Joseph.
Chanting is a tool.
Chanting is a tool to connect you to divine source and to dispel negative thought frames and to create positive energy within your body. That's what chanting and toning does. So the next question is,
when should one seek shamanism? That's Yolanda also.
Okay, I'm so glad you asked me that question, because there's going to be another podcast just on what is a shaman and what do they do and why is that important. So I'll just give you a little teaser. N. That's a shaman. A shaman is one who is trained to go into a trance to get information about how to help you heal with herbs or cleansing or actions, whatever it is that you need to know. The shaman goes into a trance in order to find out that information and then come back and share it with you. That is the main function of a shaman. And my first experience was with an African shaman from Morocco, and he taught me how to go into trance. My second experience was with a Native American shaman who taught me how to find my own spirit animal. And my third experience with a shaman was another Native American shaman who taught me the, I don't want to call it sweat lodge, the stone lodge, and how to make a lodge out of stones in order for the heat to penetrate into my consciousness and to dispel all the negative energy. So that's all I'm going to say about shamanism right now.
Kalimba Yancey said, I'm having trouble managing my emotions right now. Usually not a big problem, only a big problem now because I need to focus on action steps currently on my plate.
Okay, she's having trouble managing her emotions because she needs to focus on action to do the things that she has to do. So a lot of people are emotionally whacked out right now, and it is totally understandable for people of color and people who have married into families of people of color, people who have friends who are people of color, and to feel the sadness and pain that is being experienced in 60 cities across this country. And it is really difficult to maintain focus. So, what is the one thing we must do? Is to dance and sing and express joy at being alive. That is the best way to regulate your emotions, is to dance and sing. And what little I know about Kalimba is that she is a dancer and she is a musician and she's also a singer. So Kalimba, sing and dance and play for hours and hours and hours and get it all out, and then you will be able to focus on the action. Those people who are afraid to speak for fear of censure or ridicule are doing a disservice to their own spirit. It has nothing to do with what happens in Minneapolis or Washington, D.C. It only has to do with what is happening inside your heart. So, play, sing, and dance, and do it consistently and continuously with joy in your heart, and you will regulate your emotions. So you've got to find the joy.
Can drumming and tapping enhance or add effects to toning mantras?
Can drumming and tapping add
to the effects of toning in mantras?
Can drumming and tapping add effects? Well, I wouldn't do them at the same time, but yes. You could do one, then do the other. So I would do my drumming and tapping morning and evening, and my toning and chanting I would do whenever I needed to do it, whenever the spirit, because we speak, and we either speak something positive into existence or we speak something negative into existence. So it's way more important to speak and chant and tone all day long. The drumming, do that morning and evening. Establish that routine. But whenever you feel the need to sing, break into song. Whenever you feel the need to dance, start dancing. Make a joyful noise.
Can you elaborate on your experience in finding your own spirit animal?
I can tell the story, which I would prefer to wait
Okay.
to the one on shamanism, but since you are asking,
You could wait. You want to share this story?
I'll just give the highlights. I was on the reservation in Maryland. Who knows that there's Indians in Maryland? Nobody knows this. So I'm on the reservation, and I'm with the shaman, who looked like an old black man. He didn't look Indian by any picture or movie you have ever seen. He just looked like a really old black man. But he was the shaman on the reservation in Maryland. So he told me to go for a walk and look for my power animal. And so he's playing a drum and a rattle while I'm going for a walk in my mind, and I could not find an animal. He said, "You don't see anything, a bird, an insect?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, look for a cave." So I looked for a cave. He said, "Now go into the cave and tell me what you see." I didn't see anything. So 15 minutes, I'm laying there. I don't see anything in the cave. He said, "You don't see a snake or a lizard, nothing." I don't see anything. So half an hour goes by. He says, "Okay, now dig a hole." Dig a hole. I'm in a cave. Okay, I'm going to dig the hole. So I'm digging. He says, "What do you see?" I said, "I don't see anything." He said, "You're just seeing dirt?" I said, "Yeah, I'm just digging in the dirt." So he said, "Well, just keep digging until you see something." So finally, I dig through the hole and I see sky. And I screamed because I fell through the hole into the sky and I'm falling. And he says, "You're falling. What can you see while you're falling?" I said, "I don't know. I can't see anything." So he said, "Try to get control of yourself." And all of a sudden, I realized I was flapping my wings. And I said, "I'm a bird." And he said, "Well, what kind of bird?" I'm like, "I don't know. I can't see." So he said, "Well, go lower to the ground and see if there's water, and maybe you can see your reflection in the water." So I went lower and lower. I could see the treetops. And then I finally saw some water, and I flew over the water. And then I realized I was a really big bird. I was a giant bird. I had a huge wingspan. And he said, "Well, you must be a condor because there's no bird that's that big." And then I saw a jaguar running next to the water. So I flew lower so I could see the jaguar. And then I landed on top of the jaguar and I merged with the jaguar. And I screamed again, and the shaman said, What happened?" I said, "Well, I flew down to get a closer look at the jaguar, and then I landed on him, and I became the jaguar." So he said, "Stop running and look in the water." And I said, "I can't stop running. I'm running. He said, slow down, and look in the water." I said, "I can't." And then finally, I came out of the trance. And he says, "I've never had this experience where somebody transformed from one animal to another animal and then merged." He said, "You are destined to be a shaman because you have the power of transformation. You can fly and you can also run on land. The jaguar is a powerful animal by itself. The condor is also a powerful animal by itself. But you have the power of both of them." And that's when my shaman training became very serious. So I hope that answers your question about how I got to be a shaman. So, do we have any more questions?
No.
So, if you want to find out about my favorite chants, if you want to learn about toning, AUM, Aum, and then the Ankh. So everybody knows what an Ankh is, right? Everybody's seen an Ankh? Eddie, can they see the Ankh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody can see an Ankh. So it's a loop with a crossbar and a lower piece. So it's a taw with a loop on the end of it. And a lot of people think they know what that is. And I'm here to tell you that 99.99% of the people on the planet, especially the Egyptology people, do not know what the Ankh is or what it represents. So I'm about to tell you one of the secrets of the Egyptian mystery schools. You all know what a halo is. The halo is that arc of light around the head. That's the loop of the Ankh. The crossbar is the shoulders, and the bottom is the spine. And it's not a meaning. It's a sound that activates. And the sound is AUNGH. So I want you to go g, 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 g. So that's the back of your tongue against the throat. And when you make the g, g, it opens up the crown. And when you make the N sound, it opens up the pituitary. And the ong, 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 ong. And when you do that 27 times, you feel the vibration of your head expand and you feel connected to divine source. And that's the meaning of the Ankh. And that's what I want to leave with you. The AUM and the AUNGH. And if you want further information, contact me personally and I will take you through the process of spiritual transformation. So I think we lost one of our cameras.
Don't worry about it, just keep going.
So, do we have any more questions
No, it's
before we close?
at the end now.
We're right at the end, okay? Well, your health is in your hands, and you cannot separate spirit from physical. Prevention is the only cure. And in order to be well, you have to chant well. I'm Dr. George Xavier Love for Prince of Peace Health Ministries and the Blue Dragon Qigong Academy. Thank you.